Now, the likelihood is probably low. We saw it yesterday with Chaos versus Liquid. These are the heavy hitters. But they waste no time trying to kill Art down to the bottom of the pop dog. Of course, it is shut back down to the favor of FURIA. Then the 3v2 ensues. Yuri, he is hot on their heels. And they're trying to find their way out from this pop dog onto that A site. A bit of a struggle with a player back site. Henny, he's trying to keep himself in this, but Barton, his patience could pay off here. He's back inside T-Con, gets Henny, but then he dies. And Yuri, he's looking for it. It's him versus Maluk, and a fresh reload could do him well. Re-peeks, lots of bullets down range. He just needs the one. Come on, gets the headshot, or eventually find the frag. Yuri wins pistol for FURIA.
As a result of that, trying to dip out of there as fast as possible. That hefty grenade damage onto Barton and Molbs. Molbs in particular, definitely a player to watch out for as this best of three continues. But the MP9s shred him and shred Barton alongside PRT. 2 kills come back to back for Team 1, Pacer and Maluk. But now it's all down to Pacer with a deagle in tow. And he runs out of ammunition, runs out of health. FURIA take it 2-0, but it's casualties again.
MP9 for K Serrato. Henny, close up. Close up. Takes one shot, falls back, then it's Malbs to try and aggress. He gets Vinny. Now there's the second kill. This is big. Massive entries over on this A site. In K Serrato's position, not meant for that weaponry. Art nowhere to be found as he was still over towards that B site where this whole round began so well for FURIA.
Can Team 1 feasibly steamroll the site at range when they're up against AKs or M4s, pardon me, and AWPs? Probably not as easily. Corpse and used it against us. So information being gathered, but the value of it is running dry, and they need to keep their players alive. They tried to go in for a flank with PRT, but that has backfired. And now Henny playing up close to the site has Yuri to help him out one more time. 2 frags to his name. Team 1 post plant 2v4. No utility between the two of them, but Barton does catch Vinny as he tries to line up a pop flash to try and make a move through there. Barton holding the line. Oh, Pessa! That's a beautiful tap onto Henny, and it looks like they may be able to hold on to this 2v4 after all, or maybe not. K Serrato's still alive, but time starting to become a bit of a factor, and there is Pessa in an off angle. K Serrato not anticipating that.
Here in the top halls, looking for the head of Barton, but these T's, they're getting dangerously close, and I'm curious how long FURIA stick around with this. They already have the 5 versus 4, but now it gets taken right back. Barton, double headshot execution as they lingered a bit too long, and the B site falls beneath them, but bomb. Oh, check out Vinny. Oh.
How? How has Maluk pulled that one off? And Team 1 should be good to post up some real digits on this team half. And it wasn't looking likely when they went 3-0 down. Like, the nature in which they lost those rounds was looking a bit bleak, to be honest.
No, wait, that's K Serrato, blinded by a teammate in an attempt to entry. And now the T's look to bounce right into this A side. I talked about cranking the dial. Vinny, he shuts down the player in ladder, but Barton is a beast. And Art will finally end him, at least this round. But Vinny's taking damage, and it's still the 3v3.
Vinny, low HP, though. So HP favoring Team 1, already centralized over on the A side of the map. They're going to go for that plant. Post-plant first kill going the way of Team 1. And Art with the AWP will have no more impact than the lowly frag that he picked up earlier. Yuri, this is where you feel pretty helpless and pretty down about things. You call a timeout, you still get battered pretty much the same way, and it doesn't look like they're going to save too much. Vinny's just going to have to sit in this corner and hope for the best.
Now they're going to go into this B entry, ready to hit it hard. PRT, oh, he's looking for the hard entry, gets it. K Serrato losing his head. Yuri on that FAMAS. The lackluster rifle's not doing work just yet, but Yuri, he could find the best of timing here. Bomb plant coming through. It's not denied, but still the planter dies. Art with another great off shot, and it's low health for the 2 remaining T's. Make it 1. Maluk preemptively dropping the molly on it, but there he goes, peeking into Art, who uses that op to get himself a crucial 3K.
Going overly aggressive. This time it didn't work out, but if Art dies in main, that round is an entirely different outcome for my money. So look at all these smokes outside, and a Molotov kill on Barton. as they look to try and push through into A main. They are all together, clumped as one. But Henny has perfect vision of the oncoming tsunami of T's, and he is going to put down the blockade with the rest of his teammates. Spray down, and for the first time in a rifle round in quite a while, it's an off angle that can be difficult to contend with, especially if you push out without any flashes or smokes. There's a lot of angles you have to be wary of here, and time is running scarce. 10 players left. They flash out, but Case Toronto holds on, and there's no time anymore. There's a team kill in amongst all of the chaos, and now Maluk, the only player to actually frag the opposition. FURIA tie us back up.
They all had guns up, just ready to try and hold, and Team One, a little bit of disjointedness and lack of a clean first entry meant same result. Different strategy, similar outcome. And this one, yet again, is being completely turned on its head, understandably, as Team One have so little to work with, waiting to get their economy back online, but Henny gets the double to close.
7 would just be so much sweeter. Grenade over, lots of damage to Pacer. Fortunate, at least for Team One, that no one else was near him, but now they're going to look to charge in there. And Art, look at this stack. They have 2 players with 2 more coming straight in, and it's all the way of FURIA. The Brazilian powerhouses once again shutting down the opposition. Art from downtown with the grenade lands it flesh on Pacer's head.
You know, everybody on the team speaks for Team One right now. They don't want to tell him to go die, but they know it's going to happen. So with Art already finding footing on this A site, I am not surprised. But yet nobody's died just yet. Maluk trying to find one through smoke, and it's Mobs to find that opening kill here in the second pistol post plant. Oh, all right. Another little USP tap to the head of Yuri. Art's going to answer back, and this ID position is so strong when dealing with the retake attempt because the CTs can't come around the bomb train. They can clamber over top or push towards E-box, but that doesn't get them closer to the defuse. Oh, Art just omnipresent in this post plant. It was looking possible. However, Team One will concede and double digits first for FURIA.
Yeah, I feel like that's one of the lifelines that goes with it as well. And with the double doors and the doors on Dust 2 of the B site changing, I would actually argue.
And Art, I mean, this is what he does. This is what Team One are not used to. They are only starting to turn their backs at this point, and Art is already inside Z. Holy hell. You know, they say you can win games in practice. I tried to drop that line yesterday. And the problem, I think, for Team One, and this is a conversation point all the time, when you're going up into a game versus FURIA, if you want to practice versus a similar opponent,
but does keep himself alive. The downside here for FURIA is actually they do have a lack of utility. 1 smoke and HE. They don't have one of those Molotovs. Now they do. It's just been picked up from a corpse. That's excellent news. If you are FURIA, this post plant looking a little bit shaky though. They're stood on shaky ground, and Henny is going to try and plant his feet and hope it doesn't crumble beneath him. But it will, as he gets reeled out from a headshot. 2 players left. Bomb is ticking down. Case Toronto 1 versus 3. Molly has landed on the site, and that could be enough to secure the round, and it is. A heartbreak for Team One. They eradicate all the T's, but still can't get the objective done.
They know that they're about to get blown out of the water unless they can turn it around right now. Barton and Maluk, I like it. Face fire with fire. They go into the upper halls. They take that early fight that has so often been there, but FURIA, they have a plan B. That is eject down the ladder room and perhaps get back onto this A site, but keep an eye on the radar because bomb's been dropped back in those upper halls. They don't know whether the T's actually have it, but Yuri, he's got nothing to do because the defense stands tall. They turned it around. They went for those aggressive peaks. They took a chance. They took a gamble. Not only investing into the double sniper, but throwing them both up there at B.
Running thing, but a rallying cry behind those double AWPs would be an excellent way forward. But as I say that, one of the 2 AWPers has just been slapped down, and Art nearly spinning around with the no-scope behind it. He's going to send shockwaves for PRT. He has to turn tail and run. Molotov there to greet him, has to change his angle again. He's now very much vulnerable. Slap bang in the middle of the map, and Art is just going to go in for another one. Team One, they mounted up that valiant round, but it seems like that's all they're going to have on this CT side. Their economy is good enough to justify a buy, and of course, they're going to have to go for one. They're eyeing up 8 map points. They should be able to get a good purchase, even if Barton is unable to save his AWP. But man, Scrawny, this isn't a FURIA who are taking no prisoners. They want this over with real fast.
I can see us moving on to Mirage and the game giving us more of that. Regardless of which side Team 1 play on, they may just have to go toe-in-toe with FURIA, trying to fight them on the front lines. They're able to shave off a couple of ladder players. What remains of FURIA comes out from T-Con at a man disadvantage, but the smokes allow them to close that distance. PRT losing half his health, still able to stand tall, and maybe even taller. He takes to the top of the green train. He's got enemies and teammates all around him. Now it's all on Yuri. 1 versus 3 situation, and he can't get anything done. Another round for Team 1. Close to smoke. Barton just on the other side of it. These are the kinds of plays that make him a step above, but oh, you poke the bear and you get slapped back. Maluk finding the headshot onto Art does help. Minute on the clock, and the commitment's here to be made. Maluk, he could get slain by another player upper. Oh no, it's Yuri to actually find him right before he crosses over to plant bomb. Then Henny swoops out ever so slightly. This could be map 1 in the bag. They almost had their chance. Barton, he bit off more than he could chew. Malbs, 1 more and he's done. It's all on PRT. We've seen him alive in these post plants, but not often enough as he come in with the clutch. This could be the big one. He gets the player off the site at least, but now he needs to close that gap and deal with the ramp room. He's got 1 flashbang left to his name in FURIA. They play Ring Around the Rosie to close here on train. Henny, he's going to peek out off of the bomb tap. PRT starting to sweat bullets, and there's no chance he has it. Team 1 falling on train to give FURIA an early advantage. You know, it's a little pessimism, but I would call it realism. They will have their hands full, especially with FURIA starting off on the T side, where you know they're just going to try to do what they did on train, where their opponents were meant to be more comfortable. They're just going to run rampant. Just really crank the dial here and see what they can do. See how much they can chew through of the CT side. Barton comes looking up, staring in the face of God. Yuri winks back at him. And of course, the CT picks up the frag. So Henny now, he's looking to shut them down from their spawn. He gets the gush onto Pesa. Barton doubles back to try and kill the man in mid, but it's a 4K from Henny in the pistol. Could allow for them to just continue playing off of each other. Quick clash, real fast, right at the top of mid. And that was what I was anticipating coming out of Team 1. They had their most success on the T side of train when they could set the tempo. Well, Mirage opens up the defense for this type of aggression way more so than train. No defuse kit. If you had a kit and a smoke, I'd say maybe he gets real cheeky, but he still finds a little bit of a timing here to try and make something happen, misses his shots, and that will absolutely cost him. Still no op needed on FURIA, and it's not going to be that top mid clash straight out the gates. No, sir. They're going to hold back a bit more patience inside of connector. A flashbang goes over, but nobody makes their move. And even then, because they didn't rush, you still have FURIA right inside of middle in just mere moments, but Pesa perfectly timed. A second flash goes over.
Excellent bit of aggression, as you say, from Pesa, and the timing couldn't have been better. I just love watching the utility. It's so beautiful to watch FURIA's mid takes. Everything is so well oiled, so well drilled into place. And now Vinny, 1 versus 4, doesn't have the bomb. That actually just dropped behind him with his teammate. He's going to have to go back and pick that one up. Smoke put down onto market, making sure that the apps are also Molotoved off. There's another one for him. So he's getting all of the trimmings that he could want, but the downside is there's 4 players up against him, and it's going to be PRT.
They do still have Yuri inside of the ladder room, but Barton, he'll have his hands full on apps, Molotovs, burst inside of the smokes. Vinny, he goes down as he tries to entry, and Yuri activates from the catwalk to cut off at least one, but PRT still stands for a little longer. Pesa takes his position on the back of the bomb site as what's left of FURIA has fallen downwards, but hasn't fallen out. Not yet. Another trade back the way of FURIA, 1 versus 1, and Maluk, he could find the best of timing. With bomb out in the open, he just can't get tunnel vision, and he won't. Finds Case Serrato, trying to figure out what's going on.
Into the realms of the underworld. Does have a smoke out for the time being. Not going to get peeked wide. Pacer comes out, and there is Molbs. He is on point to deliver. And Team One take the first two. That's going to put a lot more pressure on Furia's shoulders, especially as Henny's being tagged down, not fragged, and K Serato stands tall for at least one. Yuri sneaks his way into the ladder room.
It's going to kind of balance on Yuri, I think, finding the timing, but he gets caught out by Pesa. He was just watching for that connector player and turns his attention a second too soon. K Serato, he knows he's screwed if he just falls down onto them, but there's not much more to get out with. So 4 standing for Team One. I'm not saying it's a bad thing to be engulfed in fire, but they seem to thrive in it. It's doing well so far. Pesa looks to trade it off of the ramp, but he only gets that first one. And Art, the patented Mac 10 head slap into the off swap. Oh, it's a thing of beauty. PRT, he's going to try and work closer to that A site, but the damage is already done. They strong arm their way out of the ramp, getting the better of the 2 defenders hanging out there. And then Art, well, that was just the icing on top. But PRT, there's a chance, man. He almost opened up an avenue where he could have smoked that bomb and tried, double underhanding flashbangs.
And now Furia go back to their tried and tested smokes in middle. It's going to be another A-centered push. Molb smokes himself into a safe position, and it's allowing the rest of his teammates to rotate, but they've both gone down. Malouk now showing his hand. Oh, the second shot is sublime. Henny gets splattered across the pavement. And now Art 1 versus 3. They may not expect him to be up close right through this. I'm going to secure a bomb plant at the very least, or perhaps not. He's playing for the win. You've got to respect that he has the confidence. And now Furia into a very rough buy of just the 1 AK-47, but I say that as Art drills into Peso with surgical precision, and now looking to change his attention elsewhere. That's not ideal from Molbs. I can understand to try and get aggressively into Palace, as the upper ground is going to be very difficult to deal with, but in doing so, he just gave his backup for free, and that's now an extra AK-47 that trades hands. Art goes in for the peak. They baited out his teammate of Vinny with the CZ, and now Barton from range puts him down. But it's too little too late. There's only 2 players remaining for Team One.
They are just coming at him quick. Like you said, the round definitely in the hands of Furia, but what about the weapons in the hands of Team One? Barton doing all that he can, but Yuri, he just saw the barrel. That's one of the snipers removed. As time goes on, sure, he still gets the 1 kill, element of surprise, and he takes down a big scalp in Art, but then it's the tease to just move right through. They trade him out at the base of that connector. Bomb being chased by the MP9 falls victim to Henny's patience. Vinny, he's the late lurk, and he gets his 2nd kill. Molbs, he's gonna get hyper aggressive, jumping out from the market. Oh, a 2nd D out of nowhere, and Molbs, he's just gonna look to stick the bomb. Vinny's nowhere to be found. Molbs, that is miraculous.
They wanted a solid lead, and instead they find themselves behind. So K Serato, instead of standing and fighting, he decides to fall back in kitchen, which is such a good play. It does put more pressure on his teammate of Art, who's gone down, but it also facilitates a much more powerful retake, which is now coming to fruition. Plenty of headshots have landed, though. Vinny, Henny, Yuri, all low, all struggling, and maybe Molbs can just continue where he left off after that first half. Flashbang tossed in from Yuri, actually doing more harm than good for his teammates. And now they're spinning, they're pivoting, and Molbs has put down 3 frags, but Yuri and Henny simultaneously take out the stragglers. And they have a kit and enough time for the defuse, but
AKs included. And meanwhile, Furia, they're sizing up the A ramp. So this is a double MP9 versus 3 AKs. This favors Team One. They immediately get both kills thanks to Molbs. He keeps himself off the top rope of apps, drops the bomb carrier, or rather, defenders, excuse me.
Like, they had every chance to win this. And right now, they are in the lead. Furia saving 3 guns, gonna have a decent-ish buy. But the pressure is really on the favorites.
Both inside connector, and this looks very much like that A site split. If they can cut off the mid players, this would be massive. And down goes Barton. Now they can retrieve the weapons at the base of mid and go into this retake attempt. It's without a kit, but they still have plenty of time.
Yeah, the bomb's only just gone down, so they can take their sweet time. Even when that smoke clears, a good flash from Molbs and Maluk capitalizing. Molbs now holding the line, and it was looking good a few moments ago. FURIA able to really stamp down a lot of presence in middle. But Serato does have a kit just ahead of him, but needs to find both these players and will drop at the first hurdle. Molbs again peak in its tracks, and now he relocates and does get the tag onto Barton, but won't be able to finish him off. And to make matters worse, for FURIA, Vinny tries to finish that frag and just gets headshot instantly. That's putting more pressure on Connector, but Art stands tall for that and passes the test. Yuri, now hiding in the smoke of Shadow, is going to have to try and wiggle his way out. He is an integral part of this defense right now. There's one. Trade it. 2v2 scenario. Even if FURIA were able to jump on top of this retake, it took great cost already, and they're going to do just that. But they lost 3 players, so they're going to have to replenish those weapons.
But Henny really did make the difference there. He picked up 2. Vinny, he's on the ladder room, and he dies to Molbs. 10 health left over. AK best M4. Serato playing with nades, caught by the aggression. Molbs just ripping a page out of FURIA's book. The chapter entitled Art. And there's the bomb plant that comes off of it. So if you were just mentioning how FURIA are feeling the heat, how they're not out of the woodworks just yet, Vince, they just got shoved right back into the depths of the Amazon. Sort of a scenario where maybe these A players could have justified the retake attempt. Molbs is the difference maker. He is the Barton of map 2. And Henny, under pressure.
They did force in a similar situation to this last time, but they realized that they are dangerously close to conceding their map choice for the first time in the last 3 months. And Molbs goes in on Art. One of the 2 weapons they were able to save has already dropped down. Henny with the AWP does what he can, but his teammates are falling around him, tries to push behind that smoke, gets sprayed out of existence. And there is Serato. Maluk hopping up into the air.
He gets burned to underneath Palace. This could buy time for Art to come over, but he's so worried about Molbs being hidden in some sort of a corner that his teammates are going to be slain on A. Art, he gets 1 kill, and Henny, he had a chance. He had just crept his way around those boxes. They clear everybody else out of the situation, and Art, he can't even get into the engagement because the fire at his feet prevents him from doing so. He can play close smoke, but that's about all his options. If they get a little too aggressive in this scenario, if they give him room to work, then they deserve to lose, because don't you dare write him off. It's the 1 versus 3. Would he go for the ace? The odds so unlikely. He checks the flank, and that's where Barton shuts him down. But look at those HP bars, and tell me that wasn't close.
FURIA doing an excellent job of stalling the T's, and if they're going to push, it's going to have to be basically blinded, choking on that smoke and choking on the bullets being put down range from Vinny and Art. But Art has been squashed. PRT makes moves onto the side. Headshots are plenty, delivering them all first class. And that smoke is going to keep him alive that little bit longer, giving sanctuary from Vinny's location. As Henny's taking so much damage in the kitchen, this is actually a feasible round for Team 1 to pick up. But PRT caught switching to a Molotov. Down to Henny, and he gets picked off from Maluk. Unbelievable. They actually take FURIA's choice of map, and we're headed to Nuke. This is not a map that FURIA are necessarily super powerful on, and if Molbs continues to land shots like he did in that last map, this is going to be a very tough ask. They're already going to be vent diving as well. A player up on top of the hut is Vinny, not anticipating that they'd be waiting for him in Squeaky, so a post plant. And Team 1 have multiple players still alive, still kicking for a little bit longer. Art putting bullets down range, doing significant damage to the bomb planter, and then finally finishing off Barton. But Maluk and Pessa haven't really shown their hand too much just yet, but the bomb is being defused. It's all down to Maluk, and his head gets removed from Yuri. Much better from FURIA. Understandable timeout. They were in a very awkward position. PRT spraying up. Gonna take a bunch of damage, down to 45. And Pacer, aggression straight away through on Squeaky, yields 2 kills. Barton gets the second. There's a slight gap in the smoke, and they're going to make the most of it, Furia. But they need to be careful. If that Molotov extends, it's going to kill both of them.
Oh my
They both
God.
hold the line. Big grenade comes in, takes the life of Art, shredding Yuri in the process, and there's Henny.
Oh.
Death from above, 3-0, but
Always standing up here, constantly a threat on top of the hut roof. We've already seen Molotovs come in and counter his position, but look at this. They're going to immediately try and rock this one back towards ramp. Art, he's got the AUG in position, cuts down the first 2 players, bomb down into the open as well. This is looking easy for Art, but he tries to get Pesa, who's having none of that, and grabs that bomb to now immediately shift attention elsewhere.
a great Molotov, but be careful what you wish for. It forces Serato back against the wall. Underarm nade nearly takes down Pacer. If he'd taken another pace forward, he would have been put down. He's going to be coming out, going for that full-on plant, knows he's going to die afterwards, but actually just gets wall-banged because of the damage that he took earlier on.
Is the ability to get aggressive. Oh, nice. Barton with a deagle headshot into Henny, who is just looking to play patiently on back ramp. A second from Barton. Here he is. The man that rocked the world on train.
It'll be a nerve-wracking start here, Scrawny, for this round.
The 5-0 start that we also got on Mirage. Looking to happen again here. Barton, he's gotten himself a third. Is he legitimately going to pull an ace out of the hat?
Oh my god, the damage from Vinny through the wall is ridiculous. He may not live to tell the tale. But unbeknownst to him, he's tagged all three players through smokes, through walls. He'll have no idea how winnable this round actually is. I feel so bad for Vinny though, man.
The smallest of weapons. They can go big. However, Henny posted a bit more aggressively, and Maluk takes that sniper, of which he saved, and gives it right back into the hands of the CT. Now Furia. Oh, they're mad. They're upset about the last one, and they have just whooped 3 of the members of Team 1. Pesa and Malb's all that's left over. It's a matter of breaking through, getting that kill, and starting to move forward. But he also has only 7 ADR.
Very well put, and that is kind of how Team 1 feels on this T side. They're hoping that Furia make mistakes more so than them make big plays, but they're now going to take control. They're going to dictate the pace of this round. Molotov down into vents, solidly done. Allows them a little bit more luxury, a little bit more safety in endeavoring onto this A side. Henny watching ramp, being cognizant of the fact it could be getting pushed in, but now realizing that won't be the case. The bomb has been successfully planted on A, one of the few bits of success that Team 1 can celebrate of this half, but the celebrating can't come just yet. Mobs gets his first and his second of the map in the same round, and Pacer is standing tall alongside him. Henny doesn't want any part of this fight. He's looking to save, which will give Team 1 their second round. So they're at least going in the right direction. It seems like Henny will be able to hold on to his AWP. The economy's not in place for Team 1 to sacrifice these 2 players. Oh, he nearly landed that shot as well. Gets it on the second time. There's another player down there. This aggression has got 2 kills. How has Barton survived that? I was sure he would get countered as soon as he got the pick onto Art. And this hyper-aggressive round seems like it's going to pay out in spades. Team 1 taking damage from that grenade, but it's the healthiest of PRT that takes it. And so he's okay to absorb that shock. Deagle misses out on Barton. I cannot believe Barton survived this round.
That again, they are given something, because it's still the man disadvantage. And for all they know, there's 3 players for Furia stacked up on this B bomb site. In fact, that's almost the case. Henny, he gets 1 and PRT trades.
20 seconds. Time of the essence. They've got to get in on this side. They've got to get kills, and they've stumbled on both of those fronts. PRT, 19 HP, looking to raise the site. But the only thing raising is Furia's overall score.
They have 2 players still stranded down on B. That's exactly what's going to happen. Sure, they got the kill and they dealt with Pesa, but it opened up a bit of timing where Mobs can absolutely go huge, but K-Serrato, through his shoes, keeps him honest in heaven, gives him his wings, and he never has a chance to swoop downwards. Bombs confirmed and dropped, and it all falls apart. FURIA finding a 9th.
From the foot to the head with an M4A4 round. Speaking of which, though, Maluk, he's going to put that deagle to use. Art will play no further part in this round. 15 frags to his name. Yuri's getting pushed. It's raining men. And Bart
Hallelujah.
takes it out. Good shot from Vinny. 3 more players outside. Another 1 deek. Team 1 in one of the roughest buys of their entire half, on the brink of making it work.
They've won rounds like this. Oh, and he's going to get dinked. That should be another player down. Okay, unorthodox, but it works. He's gotten down into position in time. They may not expect the doors to fly open. The bomb planter just in the smallest piece of cover naded his feet. There goes his HP. PRT on 35. K-Serrato's going to drop the smoke, use the flash to push past, and he's just looking for a smidgen of an angle. A couple shoulder shots would do the trick to the player on site. Or does he drop the opper first and foremost? PRT, relying on his teammate, sweeps out at the perfect moment.
I do worry a little bit about this, though, because it makes them that little bit less mobile. And then moving into K-Serrato, nearly sprays Pacer down, survives on 5 HP, but there's 30 seconds to go, Strawny, and the bomb's been dropped. Oh, that could be the round.
That's that right there. The double sniper setup comes back to bite them. You saw Pesa in hell have his barrel shown and gets tagged up by K-Serrato, and then the other oppers trying to entry out hut. This map on Nuke, and Maluk should be empty-handed. He tries for the kill through the smoke, but it just doesn't quite happen, and now that bomb's gone down.
Bullets are going to keep the teams at bay, though. Stuck on the back of Silo. Art comes out with his Glock, looking for a second, slight gap in that smoke, and he pierces straight through the smoke, straight through PRT's head. But Maluk is still standing. It's not a one-dimensional retake positionally for the T's. They had players on both doors, and K-Serrato is going to close the chapter.
Find another kill here, because it is the man advantage. Mobs walks back. They're not ready. He hits another headshot. And Art, well, he was closer in the corner, so there is a trade frag. But even then, Mobs does half the health gone. Art on 52, K-Serrato 100, and these T's aren't together as Team 1 goes shoulder to shoulder inside of hut with a Mag 7 and a Deeg.
And the 2 hut players staying in position. Art drops the bomb so we can maintain the upper ground advantage. Some damage inflicted, wide swinging, spotting multiple players, pushing his situation, is still standing, still alive somehow, but he's run out of ammunition, which is going to put more pressure on K-Serrato, but pressure means nothing to this man. And FURIA dig themselves out that ditch a little while, and he needs his teammates to come in. Mobs, who's had a slow game. Now would be a great time to step up, and step up he does. Onto the throat of K-Serrato, and Vinny goes down instantly afterwards. Excellent work. Bomb dropped in an awkward position. Maybe Yuri can suppress Mobs for the time being. I think Maluk just dropped down and took damage there elsewhere. Down to 40 HP. A little bit awkward. May not end up mattering a great deal, though. But Yuri goes back in, still doesn't have control of the bomb, but sprays into Pacer. Now they know that Mobs was last spotted around the hut area, so
Yuri with a bulbous brain gets that B site. Oh no, he doesn't plant, he comes off, and that's enough. Oh, they just call his bluff with both hands and just slice FURIA in half, but FURIA wastes no time getting into this B bomb site. It's already been compromised. A perfect shot from Mobs. Instant kill versus Art. Yuri's going to be lingering outside to catch that secret flank, and everything's gone fantastically for FURIA.
They got a bit of energy left in them yet, a bit of life left in them, but it's not looking good. FURIA 14-6 lead. I've said this before. I'm going to say it again, Scrawny.
Think about how Yuri got a crucial kill on Secret just last round of the post plant that never gave Team 1 the chance to retake. Maluk, oh, he gets caught. He had been watching that cross. Mobs, Deagle on the bomb site, 2 players on the other side. If this site falls too fast, then maybe he never has the helping hand he most certainly needs. He's got a player pinned behind the door. If he swings this open, then Vinny, he's trapped in the corner. Vinny, he's got a bit of a problem up close and personal, but there's Dorado to try and bring this one back. They're now both on the bomb site. They just slipped away from the two-man secret flank. The flash comes down from ramp room. Dorado is going to just keep himself pinned in, trying to be the smallest target possible. There's the first kill. Can't transition to the second. This map keeps on giving.
One, have some AKs to play with. Plenty of weaponry, but they've lost the first player, and Henny goes in for two. Typically, the AWP now picks up the AK and just rips through the CTs, taking over the site in the process. Malbs and Maluk left, and they're separated, isolated, and they're being eviscerated. Malbs, the last man standing up in heaven, 10 kills to his name, can't add an 11th, and FURIA now have 8 match points.
They're going to go for the B plant.
And they should be successful in those endeavors too, because the bulk of the CTs are up on A. They're up on ramp. They need to rotate through. Yuri is watching for this flank on secret, or they might line up for him, or not. Maluk wide swings with the deagle and takes his head clean off. Henny, still perched at the back of the site, hasn't budged an inch since planting it successfully. Now has to try and stave off the onslaught. Vinny, again, right place at the right time. He may never land all the frags, but he is so impactful, and he could be the man that finishes it all off. FURIA slipped and slid out of Mirage.